Hello everybody and welcome to episode 33 of my Guild Wars 2 series. At the start here, I just want to mention that I started recording this episode and then I noticed my mic was muted, so then I fixed it. But I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what we did at the start of the episode here. So today we are going to go ahead and begin the first chapter of the Sylvari personal story. But first I wanted to head into the Grove and we can come to the capital city of the Sylvari, and we have this loading screen art here which is very special to me because when I first started playing this game, this concept art kind of grossed me out a little bit, similar to the Radasum concept art grossed me out about the Ashura. But of course, as we know now, the Sylvari are my favorite race in Guild Wars 2, so I don't think that grossing out lasted for a very long time. But as we enter into the Grove, we can see just how beautiful of a city this is. But the Grove is very special to me because not only is it home to the Sylvari, and not only is it an absolutely beautiful area, it has a lot of cool lore about it as well, where we know that the Centaur Ventari and the human Ronin came here and they planted the seed of the pale tree here, and then over hundreds of years this tree blossomed into what we see today, and the Sylvari came forth from it, and it is now our home here in the Tarnished Coast. It is also a really cool area because the city has multiple layers, where it has basically 3 main layers and then it has an additional super high up layer as well. It's not like a full layer. But the middle layer here is very special because it is home to the crafting stations and the bank and the trading post. And this area in this city is very nice compared to other cities like Divinity's Reach because they're really close together, which is nice for players who kind of want a little bit more of a convenience. We also have this giant peppermint building here, which is really cool, and it's actually a bar, and if we go further inside we can see this absolutely stunning area here. But beyond that, we can head further down into the 3rd layer, which is home to all the houses of the different cycles, and it is also home to Kate's house, and it's home to the player home instance. And we can see a very special area right here that is a little bit of a hidden area that we can come through, and it opens up to this absolutely beautiful area, which is one of the community's favorite places in the entire game, and it is a place that I like quite a bit. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and myself and other people like to take screenshots here and also just do other activities here as well, like guild meetings is something I see people do a lot every now and then. But beyond that, let's go ahead and head into our home instance, and then we can go ahead and talk with Kaith.
Hail, Valiant. I am glad that you have come. Valiant, this is Aoife, leader of the Cycle of Dawn. She is a firstborn, and has offered to speak with you about your dream.
I would be honored, firstborn. Can you help me understand what I have seen?
I will do all that I can. Tell me the images you witnessed while you slept, Child of Dawn.
I saw a glorious white stag standing in a forest, and I feared for its safety.
When I was told a white stag had been seen in the Caledon forest, I remembered the image from your dream. Such a thing cannot be a coincidence. In your dream, what happened to the stag?
I don't know. I just knew that the animal was in danger and I wanted to save it.
As it happens, I recently received word of a stag like that near the Verdants. If you find it, perhaps you'll uncover the true meaning of your vision. What we see in the dream often guides us to the lessons we undertake in this world. Travel well, and with wisdom.
So I just noticed my mic was muted, but now we are here at this point. So let's go ahead and head to the Verdants, and we can see if we can find any tracks or information about this white stag. And here we are in the Verdants, so I see our story marker all the way over here, so let's go ahead and investigate it. And then we can interact with it, and it says these appear to be the tracks of a large hoofed animal, a stag perhaps. We can follow the tracks, and it looks like they head further southeast. So let's go ahead and we can run towards our next area that is right here near the wolf den that we explored last episode. And then we can go ahead and investigate these tracks, and it looks like it's the same thing, but they are very fresh. Looks like we are on the right path. So let's go ahead and follow these tracks, and we can try to find a third set of tracks just north of here. Here's another set. Let's go ahead and look at them, and it says the stag tracks are quite fresh. They lead north into the nearby caves. Let's follow the tracks. And we have a story mission right here, and before we go in it really quickly, I want to come into our training panel here, and I want to go ahead and pick up a few skills. So necromancers at the start of the game have access to signets, corruption skills, which are kind of like those give and take skills that we were talking about earlier, minions, will training, and spectral training. And I think at the start here, I want to go ahead and learn a couple of minions. So let's go ahead and learn Blood Fiend there, and I just went into equipment panel for some reason. Then I can learn Summon Bone Fiends, Summon Bone Minions, and then there's also a Summon Shadow Fiend right there. But I'm going to go ahead and replace my healing skill here with Summon Bone Fiend, and then replace this slot here with, let's go ahead and do Summon Bone Fiend. And then let's go ahead and hop into our story mission, and we can look at minions and look at the story here. We have this beautiful concept art of what looks like a Sylvari bridge here. And now we see Risen ahead of us, but let's go ahead and do this minion skill here. Our minions are really fun because we can summon them, and then they are basically kind of what you would assume with minions, and they are really gross looking, but really cool. Go ahead and summon this Bone Fiend here. These two things will follow us, and we will be able to use them to attack allies alongside us, and then we can also use these abilities again in order to get something from them. So we can sacrifice our Blood Fiend to heal ourselves, and the Blood Fiend also just naturally heals us while we fight. Or we can use Rigor Mortis here to immobilize your Bone Fiend, and it will immobilize foes. But we hear some screaming coming out of the cave here, so let's go ahead and enter this area, and we can see that there's more and more Risen around here, so let's go ahead and just fight through them and find out where the screaming is coming from. There are some dead wardens on the ground there. Looks like there are some dead deer as well. Let's hope there's not a dead white stag. Looks like we're getting closer to where the yelling is coming from. So we clear through the undead there, we can come into here, and we have a character called Gavin.
I need aid.
So let's go ahead and help out the Sylvari. It looks like he is trapped in here with the Risen in here, and this is a really cool looking area where we actually have some ships right here that crashed.
I need your aid.
But there are more Risen that we can go ahead and fight, and we can help Gavin out here. Looks like our Bone Fiend there died, which is not a good thing, but we still have our Blood Fiend to help us. We have a Risen Brute, which is another low-level Risen mob similar to like the Thrall, but the Brute is a little bit more tanky. You have to hit him more times in order to kill him, and he also knocks people down. So if he's attacking us, he would knock us down, which would interrupt us, which is not a good thing.
Be at ease. You're safe now. Are you wounded?
I am, but I can't let that hinder me. I'm looking for a white stag. If I let it escape, the consequences will be dire.
Then we have something in common. I'm also looking for the stag. Have you seen it?
It was here, but it fled to the eastern woods before I could catch it. And then the undead arrived. You have done me a good turn, and you seem strong and swift. If we hunt together, we might have more luck.
I'd be glad to work with you. Let's begin our hunt at once.
Must leave this area. It's too dangerous to remain.
So this character Gavin is also looking for the white stag, and we are as well, so let's go ahead and pool our forces together and we can try to find the stag together. And there are more Risen in here, so let's go ahead and fight them. Gavin's a little bit wounded, so let's go ahead and help him out of this cave here. We can go ahead and summon our Bone Fiend again to help us out. Looks like our Blood Fiend might be a little bit tankier than the Bone Fiend, which is a good thing. And it looks like we can escape out of the entrance here with this Risen Brute blocking our path, so let's go ahead and come into Shroud here, and then we can go ahead and fight it. Shroud is very powerful. We are able to deal a ton of damage to this Risen here, but it looks like we are in the clear now. Let's go ahead and chat with
wound
Gavin.
weakens me. I need to catch my breath. If we do not find it soon, the undead will, and they'll tear it apart. We must keep looking. We must.
You need to rest, Gavin. You were badly wounded. We'll keep going, but not to the point of risking your life.
My life means nothing compared with finding the stag. Still, You are right. I'm of little use to you like this. I shall seek healing and meet you near Caer Verdant when my health is improved.
That is the wisest course of action. The stag is a wild animal and a creature of the dream. It will survive for a while on its own.
So we completed this mission, and let's go ahead and pick our reward. I'll go ahead and just pick any of them. I'll pick this one because we don't have the skin unlocked yet. And then we can go ahead and exit out of the story instance and head towards our next one, which is right over here. But I want to go ahead and come into my equipment panel really quickly, and we have our alternate main hand weapon and offhand weapon here, and we have looked at the axe. So let's go ahead and look at scepter, and then let's go ahead and look at Warhorn as well. And then we can start looking at these 5 brand new skills that are available to us. We have this new story mission here of Hounds and the Hunted with another piece of concept art of a different type of bridge. But let's go ahead and summon our minions, and then let's run up here to the Sylvari Tower and let's chat with
Time to
Gavin.
get started.
We have a ton of Sylvari around here. We have Blanche, Morigu, and Urace, and Kaliek, or however you pronounce those names. Those are my best guess, but here we can chat with Gavin.
Gavin, are you feeling better?
I am, thanks to you. I have good news. The white stag has been seen in this area recently. If we hurry, we could catch up to it.
That watchtower over there gives me an idea. From the top, we can get the lay of the land and possibly a glimpse of our quarry.
You have a true hunter's instincts, Valiant. That's exactly what we should do. When the stag appears, we shall give chase until it tires. Together we will harry it, and then the beast shall be ours.
So let's go ahead and run to the top of the tower here, and we can get a view of the area ahead of us.
Ah, the white stag appears. Look below. Do you see the stag? Step lightly. We cannot alert the stag to our presence.
So let's go ahead and run back down the watchtower, and then we can run down here, and then it looks like there's going to be Risen down here, and we see one right there, and we have the white stag. So let's go ahead and begin our chase against the white stag until it begins to tire out.
It flees. Now, to the hunt.
We have a ton of Risen here, and let's go ahead and start looking at our scepter here, where the auto attack is an auto attack chain where we apply some bleeding, and I accidentally went in underwater there, and then we apply some more bleeding, and then we apply some bleeding and poison, and then we just deal damage along the way. So this is a good condition weapon here. And then we have this skill here called Grasping Dead, where we summon skeletal hands to cripple foes in the target area. So it'll cause bleeding and cripple, and it has a very cool animation, and also deals damage, and it deals all of that to 5 enemies. Next we have the skill here called Feast of Corruption. Strike your target, gain life force, and corrupt boons on your full reach condition on your target up to the condition threshold, gain additional life force, and inflict torment. So we are able to turn 3 boons into conditions on our enemies, and then we will gain life force, and we will deal additional damage up to 3 different boons that we convert. So very decent ability, especially against any enemies that have boons. And we can see it has a little bit of a mouth animation there. I'll go ahead and let it recharge once again. You can use it against this Risen Thrall right there. Very cool. Starting to look at our Warhorn. I'm kind of dying here. Maybe I'll go ahead and deal with these 2 thralls really quickly. I have to use my healing skill there to sacrifice my Blood Fiend. Can summon the Blood Fiend again. And looking at our first Warhorn skill is Wail of Doom. Screech a Wail of Doom in a cone pattern, inflicting fear on foes, where foes involuntarily retreat, unable to act, and it stacks duration, and it deals a ton of defiance damage, and it is also unblockable, which is nice. So let's go ahead and try it on this Thrall right there, and then the Thrall will run away for 1 second, and then it just comes back. But overall, a very nice ability just to deal some breakbar damage to enemies, and also to give us a moment of respite if needed. We have a Risen Brute here, and also this Thrall, so let's go ahead and deal with both of them with our Shroud here. I'll go ahead and keep my distance a little bit because I don't want this Brute to knock me down. And then we can come back out into our normal weapons here. Then we have our 5th Warhorn ability here called Locust Swarm, where we gain swiftness and summon a swarm of locusts that siphon health to you and your allies from foes. So this is a very nice movement ability because we gain some swiftness, and then it's nice whenever we're attacking enemies because it'll continuously deal damage to them, and it's going to siphon health away from them and into us. So it is also like a little bit of a nice healing skill there as well. That also gives us some life force.
Maintain the pursuit. Soon we shall have him.
So we are still chasing after the stag here. We have killed many Risen in this area, and we're leveled all the way up to level 13, which is nice. Go ahead and accept those rewards there. We got 5 more hero points.
In the last efforts of a weary beast, we're winning.
Let's go ahead and continue our pursuit here where the white stag keeps running. Looks like he's slowing down a little bit, which is good for our cause here. We have a ton of risen on us right now, so let's go ahead and use all our abilities. Plague Carrier exploded on us, which is not a good thing. And then all those thralls were dealt with. And let's go ahead and help out Gavin over here, who looks like he's fighting like a brute and a thrall himself. And then there's more thralls that follow up behind us. And then we can begin using our scepter and warhorn as well as our axe and focus all together. We can just weapon swap and use whatever ability we want and then swap back once the weapon swap cooldown goes off of cooldown. It looks like we defeated all the attacking risen that were right here, so let's go ahead and come up to the white stag.
The white stag is ours.
And it looks like Gavin was able to throw a net on the stag. Let's go ahead and chat with him.
Excellent work, Valiant. But now I must leave, and I will be taking the white stag with me. You're welcome to come, of course. Your skills as a hunter would be an asset to the court.
The Nightmare Court? Who are they, and what are you doing? Gavin, the stag must go back to the grove. Keith is waiting for us there.
No, my noble friend. The white stag is coming with me. Once we turn it to the nightmare, the stag will be a powerful weapon against the dream. It is a manifestation of hope and faith. In Nightmare, it will be just the opposite, a creature of despair and hatred. Through its power, the Pale Tree will be freed of the chains forged by Ventari's tablet.
A weapon? Gavin, this is wrong. The white stag is a peaceful creature. You can't turn it into something cruel.
I can. We can. Come with me. You would be celebrated, possibly even knighted by the Grand Duchess herself.
No, Gavin. I'll never join the Nightmare Court.
Ah, that's a pity. It grieves me greatly to turn predator into prey, Valiant. But I cannot have you interfere. Farewell. It's a shame. A loyal friend. And now a debased death.
So it looks like Gavin all along was a member of the Nightmare Court. He was trying to capture the white stag in order to turn it to Nightmare in order to combat the dream and the teachings of Ventari's tablet, which he and the other members of the Nightmare Court believed to be like evil or wrong in their views. But let's go ahead and fight all the Thornhounds here. And we fought 2 right there. Looks like there might be more coming somewhere. And there's a Nightmare Alpha Hound right there that just leaped on us. So let's go ahead and deal with this hound, and we can go ahead and summon our Bone Fiend there, and then I'll go ahead and summon the Locust Swarm, and then go into Shroud, and we can use Shroud for, and then our other abilities as well as we bring this hound down towards 0% health. The Necromancer's vibes are so cool. I absolutely love the art style and like all the different skill animations and visuals and stuff that goes on with this profession. But this Alpha Hound is now dead, and we have defeated our 50th enemy on this character. And let's go ahead and return to Keith, and we can report about what happened to the white stag and Gavin as well. So instead of heading into our home instance, we can go ahead and head over here towards Keith's house, and we can enter this mission where we have some concept art of Keith here. And then we have Keith in the back here. And let's go ahead and report to her about what just happened to us.
Keith, I need your help. Gavin, the hunter working with me to track the white stag, has betrayed me. I don't understand what he's done. He said something about using the stag as a weapon, and that Ventari's tablet was evil. He said he was a member of the Nightmare Court.
The Nightmare Court? Thorns. You were right to come to me. They believe that Ventari's tablet has turned the tree away from the original nature of the dream. They embrace pain and darkness, and they claim that Ventari's lessons have corrupted the Sylvari and the Pale Tree.
Corrupted us? Can't they see that they're the ones who become poisonous?
They believe their own lies. Come, Valiant. We must discover where the court is holding the white stag.
I agree. But how?
News of such a prize will have spread among the courtiers like wildfire. We will go to Erin's woodlot and spy upon the court. They often go there to recruit new courtiers, but we must be subtle, or they will flee without telling us anything. Meet me there, and we will devise a plan.
We completed this story mission, and we can go ahead and enact this new plan. And I think I'll go ahead and pick up the staff here, and we can look at those skills. and we leveled up to level 14, so we have this helmet that we can equip. So it seems that the Nightmare Court believe that the Pale Tree was intended for a different purpose than what it eventually became, with Ventari's teachings being an integral part of Sylvari society. And the Nightmare Court are like very evil and twisted, and they were trying to turn people to their side to cause chaos and pain in the world, which is what they believe should be their true intentions, compared to the peacefulness and the loving nature of the Sylvari, which resembles a lot of Ventari's own personality and what he was like as a centaur. But we can head out of Astoria here, and we can head further into the wilderness. This is the furthest we came last episode, and now we are going just a little bit further to right here. I'll go ahead and grab this waypoint since we are right here. You see way off in the distance there is a Lion Guard haven, similar to all the other havens we have seen throughout our Let's Play series so far. But let's go ahead and head into this story mission here of Discovering Darkness. We have Kate here. Let's go ahead and chat with her and see what she is thinking about doing here.
The Nightmare Court is gathering. We must proceed with caution. I cannot approach them. They know who I am, so I'll watch from a distance.
I don't understand why we allow them to gather at all if they seek to corrupt everything.
On those rare occasions when they bloom in public, they vanish as soon as the wardens arrive.
If we can't approach them, how will we free the White Stag before they corrupt it?
I cannot, but you can. You're a newly awakened sapling. They'll be eager to recruit you. Speak to them cautiously and earn their trust.
I will. Perhaps I can persuade a recruiter to follow me back here. Then, together, we can force the recruiter to tell us about Gavin and the stag.
Excellent. But before you go, a warning. Do not listen to their lies. If you become corrupted, there is no cure.
So let's go ahead and attend the meeting and listen for clues, so we can come into this little farming and gathering area here that is important for the Sylvari. And we have all the Nightmare Court who are trying to
Freshly
recruit.
awakened, and already you've been lied to.
Your eyes should be open, yet they are closed to all but the teachings of long-dead philosophers.
The centaur Ventari, the human Ronin. Neither were Sylvari. Why do we lend their words such credence?
Ventari's tablet shackles us. In its shadow, we're slaves to an imposed morality, rooted in foreign ground and trapped forever.
I say no, and so should you. Look within yourself. The dream is many things. It is light and dark, love and anger, good and evil. So are we.
Come to us in the forest, saplings, and we will teach you more. We will give you freedom and give you the truth.
That was, fairly disturbing.
Interesting. I have to admit, they made a few good points.
They did indeed make a few good points there that really questions a lot about the Sylvari. But let's go ahead and chat with one of the recruiters. And she says, "You seem clever, sapling. Do you have any questions about the Nightmare Court?" And we can say, "A few, but I'm shy. Can we talk where others will not see?" And she says, "But of course we can, my pretty one." And we can say good, and then let's go ahead and head this way with this recruiter following us, and then we can lead the courier back towards Keith, who is in the shadows over here. We can go ahead and try to get this recruiter to tell us as much information as we can.
What is this?
I thought you courtiers loved a good betrayal. Tell us where Gavin took the White Stag.
Come here and make me. I'll kill you both.
So we have a little bit of a fight here. Let's go ahead and attack this recruiter, and we can go ahead and damage her and try to beat her into telling us where Gavin and the White Stag is. This recruiter actually has a decent amount of health.
Rise! Attack and consume!
We have some Nightmare Courts coming in, and we just leveled up to level 15, which is nice. Nightmare Hounds, not Nightmare Courts. We'll go ahead and get our level up reward here really quickly, which is another staff. And I'll go ahead and just pick this one. And we have 5 more hero points. Now we can go ahead and talk to this recruiter once again, I think, and hopefully she will listen to our questions and answer what we want to know.
Listen here. You're smart enough to know you're in trouble. Tell us where you're keeping the White Stag and you can go back to your friends.
If I tell you, the others will hunt me down and make me suffer.
Tell us where the stag is, or I'll carve out your tongue with my blade.
No. Listen. Trust me. No one needs to know it was you. I won't betray your trust as long as you tell us the location of the White Stag.
I believe you. It's Gavin. He has the stag caged in a camp further north. It's a creature of hope. So turning it to despair will help liberate us and the Pale Tree too.
Thank you. Now we'll keep our word. We won't tell anyone that you talked before you died.
Keith, please. We're better served letting her go. I gave my word that we would. We're better than she is. Our word is our honor.
No. This courtier will carry no warning. I will not allow it. A quick and bitter end. A better death than they give their prey. Time presses us. We have two choices, Valiant. Do we free the stag using disguise or distraction? You were the one that dreamed of the white stag. I will follow your instincts. Speak with me, and let me know how you choose to approach.
So it looks like Keith, who has been in this road for much longer than us, and has probably become more bitter and has learned a lot more things about the road as well, seems to be a little bit less merciful than our character is right now. But let's go ahead and chat with Keith. And she says, if the Nightmare Corp lights the white stag with nightmare, the dream will be tainted. I cannot allow it to happen. You're right, we have to rescue the stag, but how? I see two readily available options, disguise or distraction. And we could say, what could we do if we were disguised? And she says, with courtier robes, we could infiltrate their camp and free the stag before they suspected anything. Or what kind of distraction? The nightmare courtiers are proud. The right insult could grab their attention and allow me to free the stag behind their backs. Clever. What was our other option again? And I think I want to go with the disguise option, where we can sneak in, and that would be the safest way to free the stag. So let's go ahead and select that, and then we can go ahead and collect our rewards from the story mission here, and then we can go try to free the stag. We have another item there that we can go ahead and equip. So let's go ahead and do just that. We have some new robes on us as well, and with our new hero points, let's really quickly come into our training panel here. And then we can look at wells or spectrals here. So wells are kind of like AoE field that we can put down on the ground that will do good things for us, and then bad things for any enemies inside of it. And spectrals are another type of fun necromancer ability that's very specific to necromancers, and they do a variety of different things. So we have spectral grasp here, which basically pulls our targets towards us. We have spectral armor, which gives us some protection and is a stun break. We have spectral ring, which gives us protection and fears enemies. It'll also give us life force, and we could learn that as well. I think I want to go ahead and put spectral grasp on our skill bar for now, and then we can switch over to spectral armor after a little bit, but I just want to try out this skill because it is pretty fun. But let's go ahead and leave this instance, and then we can meet Keith further north. We see the mission way further north than us. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of map completion on our way north. So we have one task right here that we can go ahead and do, where we can help gather lavender, search sand piles, build scarecrows, return escaped Psymoths, and protect harvesters from nearby threats. So there are a ton of scaled drakes right here, so let's go ahead and fight through them. We have a scale right here. Let's go ahead and use the skill. Looks like our ally there was fighting it, so we kind of messed that up. But it is a really fun ability that we can use to just pull enemies, and we can pull them from super far away, which is very good for us. I'll go ahead and go into my equipment, and we can equip the staff that we got. I'll go ahead and replace our axe and focus with it. And you can see that the staff is a very interesting weapon for the necromancer, and a really cool cosmetic thing is that with the staff you get a little bit of like a dark magical scythe ending on our staff. So with the necromancer, basically any staff gets this, and it turns the staff into a scythe, which is really cool. But the auto attack here is pretty basic. We have 4 different marks that we can put down on the ground that will basically deal AoE damage to enemies, and it will do different things depending on each mark. So we have the first one here, Mark of Blood, that grants us regeneration or bleeding. We have this third one here, Chillbanes, which will deal damage, cause chilled, and cause poison to any enemies. Then we have Putrid Mark, which will deal a ton of damage, and it'll also transfer any of our conditions to enemies that it hits. So we can use that there. And then we have our last one here, which is Reaper's Mark, which will deal a ton of damage and also force any enemies to flee. There we completed the task, so let's go ahead and head this way. And this is kind of a fun event that's going on right here, where we can actually set up defenses here with these mortar turrets, and we can basically just defend against the Risen. But I don't particularly want to do that right now. Let's go ahead and jump up this way. You can get this waypoint and this hero challenge right here, and then let's go ahead and head towards that Lion Guard haven we see right there, because we have a vista of the area coming up ahead. We have this mysterious patch of ground right here. Let's go ahead and see what's causing it. and it is a veteran ancient Maguma worm and 2 Maguma hatchlings. So let's go ahead and fight these different worms right here. And it looks like staff is really powerful. It's a lot more powerful than I remember it being. So we might go ahead and just use that because I'm having a good time with it right now. But we can go ahead and use our shroud and our staff in order to finish off these 2 worms. Or one of them is already dead, but we just have this last one. And we can go ahead and now move further west towards our next story mission. We have entered Bay Haven and we have a vista right here. So let's go ahead and look at this next area up ahead of us, as well as this haven right here. So a really cool haven in a very beautiful location. Let's go ahead and check our map, and it looks like we ran right past a scout right here. So let's go ahead and chat with the scout, and I think I might actually leave the scout there for now, and we can go ahead and return to this area next episode as we continue doing our map completion in this area. Looks like we also missed a point of interest over there. We can go ahead and get that as well, but we have this beautiful lake right here, so let's go ahead and run down this way. And we can run across these really cool bridges right here, and then we can go ahead and make our way to the next story mission that is right in front of us here. This area is called Ventry Bay. The bay is coming in here all the way from the ocean, and then we have another bridge here that heads into a Sylvari town that we'll explore more of next episode. But here on the left we can see that there are some thorns leading up to a Nightmare Court camp, so let's enter this story mission, Hidden in Darkness.
Hail, Valiant. Make haste. We have much to do.
So let's go ahead and chat with Keith here, and we can summon our minions while we do so.
You've arrived just in time, Valiant. I scouted the Nightmare Court camp, and fortune favors us. The White Stag is not yet corrupted. However, that is where our luck ends. I saw a patrol guarding the outskirts of the camp, and several more courtiers within. Freeing the stag will be difficult.
My plan is to disguise ourselves and sneak into the main camp. Once there, we can free the stag and use stealth to escape. We'll need to steal some of their clothing so that we look like the other courtiers. Then we can move about freely.
A good plan, but we must be cautious. The camp's leader is Sariel, a cruel and prideful Sylvari. She may notice that we are not what we seem.
Then we'll just have to make sure she's not around while we search. Maybe we can play to her flaws. After we find the cage where they're holding the white stag, we'll set it free and fight to cover its escape.
Deception? Mayhem? I'm going to enjoy this plan. Very well. Let us go and find that patrol. Overcome a group of courtiers and deprive them of their garments. Such disguises will cover our nature. For a while.
So, conveniently, we have some Nightmare Court running along this way. So,
Kate? And a Valiant? What are they doing here?
we can kill them
Let us
very
hide
easily,
and steal a disguise.
and then we can take
These
their
clothes
clothing.
are a poor fit. I think I'm developing a rash.
And then, now that we are disguised as the Nightmare Court, we can go ahead and begin running this way up towards the Nightmare Camp that we saw just a moment earlier. We can go ahead and try to enact this plan that we have to free the White Stag. So we have the root tangles right here that we can go ahead and see that there is a ton of Nightmare Court fortifications right here. Some Nightmare Hounds, but
New
because
to
we
the
look like
court,
the
are
Nightmare
you?
Court,
Fair fortune.
it looks like the
Mind
plan
your
is working
tongue,
so far.
saplings. Sariel doesn't like backtalk.
And then we can go ahead and head this way and chat with Sariel.
Know your place and respect my command, or I'll make you suffer.
So let's go ahead and chat with her. And she says, a newcomer, do you have any idea who I am? Best learn fast or you'll die slow. We could say, I apologize, my lady. Allow me to give you the news. A caravan of gold cloth is leaving Maybon Market even as we speak. And she says, I do enjoy a bit of luxury. Very well, you may live, but the gold cloth is mine. Of course, courtier Sariel.
Courtiers, bring your weapons and follow me. Battle calls.
So it looks like all the Nightmare Court are leaving this area right now, or a good chunk of them, and they're heading towards Maybon Market. And they are probably going to quickly figure out that there is not a caravan. So let's go ahead and try to find the White Stag
I'd
here.
rather die.
The darkness. The darkness is
The white
approaching.
stag.
It's approaching.
So we have the White Stag here,
would be too
and
great
we also
cruelty to
have
leave
a
these
ton of
prisoners
other
behind.
prisoners.
We
So
must
let's
free
go
them
ahead
all.
and help them out here.
to
We
run.
can go ahead and free
Get
them,
away from
and
here.
also free the stag,
Thank you for
and
my
together we can try to cause a little bit of mayhem in this camp.
Excellent. Now, we make our escape.
Dreamers are here. They're stealing the stag.
So now we have to fight our way past the Nightmare Court. So let's go ahead and fight all these different Nightmare Court areas here, and we have the Spike Root Fruit that we can go ahead and throw at one of them to knock them down, which is a little bit of an aid for us. And then we have a lot of AoE abilities with our staff, which is nice against large groups of enemies. It looks like those Nightmare Court there are dead, but let's go ahead and fight these ones as well. We have some hounds here that we can fight as well, which is not good for us, but they are pretty easy, just like the Nightmare Court as well. Let's go ahead and pull in this courtier right here, and accidentally hit the one right in front of us, so we didn't pull her in. So that's something that we need to be really careful about when we use that ability. That we have direct line of sight to the one that we want to pull in, because it only hits one enemy. And it looks like it hits 5, but it doesn't look like it pierces really. So it would pull in like a group of enemies like these two right here, but it wouldn't be able to pull in like all 3 of these if we were to do a line right here all the way to the far back hound right there. Anyway, this Nightmare Minstrel that is now down, and let's go ahead and chat with Keith here.
That was tremendous. The disguises worked perfectly. How did you know we could convince their leader to leave the camp?
I know her. Her name is Sariel, and before she fell to Nightmare, she was the student of someone I loved very dearly. But that is a story for another day. The White Stag seems uninjured, though understandably frightened. I'll take him back to the Grove. Be warned, Valiant. Sariel is prideful, above all else. She will not forget this insult.
Yes, but you're taking the stag back to the Grove. Sariel wouldn't actually attack the Pale Trees City just out of wounded pride. Would she?
You underestimate the Nightmare Court. They will do whatever they must to get their way.
At least Gavin still had a sense of honor. How can he and Sariel both be in the Nightmare Court?
Evil has many forms. Some desire tyranny, others chaos. Regardless, they will come for the White Stag. And when they do, we must be ready. I will meet you at the Grove. I'll take the stag back to the Grove. Make sure you're not followed, and then return to me.
So it looks like we have one final story mission here. Let's go ahead and accept this reward, and then we can go ahead and protect the White Stag from anyone who would want to do it harm from the Nightmare Court. So let's return to the Grove. And I will go ahead and do a little bit of a fun thing, which is take this elevator right here so we can descend further into the Grove here. And it's just like a very fun way to get around the city, especially since the city is very vertical. You can see that we are now at the bottom of the Grove, right next to where we need to be for our story mission, so very convenient. So let's enter the story mission here, a Black Knight, White Stag. We have a ton of wardens right here that are making up a defensive perimeter, and then we have Keith right here with Aifi, and then the White Stag. So let's go ahead and chat with Keith, but I think I'll go ahead and change this to our Spectre armor, because that will probably be useful in the coming battle. But Keith says, well met, Valiant, the wardens are on edge, the court gathers just outside the Grove. We have little time. What should we expect? Do you feel these tremors? I think the Nightmare Court's getting creative. Be on guard. I'm ready to protect the White Stag for the dream.
Prepare for an attack.
Here they come.
So it looks like the Nightmare Court are here, and there's a jaguar and spiders, and there are a ton of them. So let's go ahead and use all our different abilities here to drive back these animals that the Nightmare Court just sent in. Looks like we are immobilized right now. So this is probably not a really good thing that's going on right now, where we are having to defend the Grove from the inside, because presumably the Nightmare Court are probably causing a lot of devastation as like they come through here and come into this area.
The Nightmare Court demands it.
So we can see that the Nightmare Court are really not caring about anything at all. I do not care about how much pain or chaos or damage they cause to anybody or anything, and they just kind of want to enact their plans of chaos and pain that they want. We can go ahead and continue fighting against the Nightmare Court. And it looks like this seems to be pretty easy so far because we have so many wardens with us, and then our staff is very powerful against large groups of enemies.
We must find Sariel. Once she's defeated, their courage will fail. and the courtiers will flee.
So let's go ahead and head. I'm not exactly sure which way we need to go. I think it's this way. And we can find Sariel, who is right there and laughing at us.
Poor Sariel. Did you really think you could just walk into the grove and take the stag?
No, Keith. I also planned on leaving you in a pool of your own blood. And, well, here you are.
Even Fowlin couldn't tame that temper of yours. Let's see if my blades can do better.
Strike now while their backs are turned.
Where's your honor? We aren't cutthroats or animals. We kill when needed, when we can use that bloodshed to grow a garden. Now leave. Meditate on this, and should you fail to learn, I'll kill you myself.
This isn't over, Keith. One day I'll kill you, no matter what the Grand Duchess says.
My friend, I apologize for Sariel's behavior. She's young. She hasn't learned to temper power with wisdom.
What is there to understand? The Nightmare Court is evil. It's destructive. You and Sariel are two of a kind.
You wound me. I am nothing like Sariel. She is an honorless craven, and I have been your friend. The court doesn't seek to destroy either the Sylvari or the Pale Tree. We're trying to free you from the influence of Ventari's tablet.
You want to use the White Stag to corrupt the dream. You would turn this beautiful creature into a weapon.
Yes, for the greater good. Let me prove that the Nightmare Court has honor. Duel me. For the winner, the White Stag. For the defeated, death.
Very well, Gavin. I accept your challenge and your terms. Let's begin.
So now we can go ahead and have an honorable duel with Gavin, and I think this is something that I'm going to enjoy a little bit because Gavin kind of betrayed us earlier on in the episode, and now we have the opportunity to fight him and defeat him. But in addition to that, we are kind of seeing something very special, where Gavin is a member of the Nightmare Court.
I will fight you with honor, Valiant. Let all assembled bear witness.
But so is Sariel, and they have very different personalities and very different goals and very different morals from one another. But we can see that they are both in the same organization, and they are kind of doing some very similar things. But we see Gavin is much more honorable and much more noble compared to Sariel, who's just bloodthirsty and want to cause as much devastation and damage as possible. So let's go ahead and use our spectral armor there. We can go ahead and continue dealing damage to Gavin. We can fear him, and then let's go ahead and use this last mark here. It looks like he's running further up the stairs here, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it far. He is reflecting our projectiles there, but we can go ahead and apply some conditions to him.
Valiant. I am beaten. I will be remembered. In the dream.
Thank the tree that's over.
So now let's go ahead and come over here. We have the White Stag, who is now safe, and we can chat with Keith and see what she has to say about all of this.
Victory! The Nightmare Court will not try this particular tactic again.
Now the White Stag will be safe.
For now. But soon enough the court will find another way to draw the dream into darkness. Fowlin loves to cultivate misery.
Sounds like you have history with the court and this Grand Duchess Fowlin. Will you tell me the tale?
I knew her once, but I don't know her anymore. What matters is that you've done well, Valiant. Enjoy this moment. Come. One image in your dream has been resolved, but the other, the dragon, remains to be deciphered. Our mother wishes to see the White Stag, and I intend for you to be there as well. It is time you met the Pale Tree.
I'd be honored, Keith. I'll see you there.
So we have one last step in the story here, so let's go ahead and waypoint back to the top of the upper commons here, and then we can enter the Umphalos chamber, and we can meet the Pale Tree, the mother of all Sylvari. So let's go ahead and enter this final mission here, and then we can go ahead and take this elevator up to the top of the tree. We have this White Stag here with Keith and Aifi and the avatar of the tree. Let's go ahead and chat with all of them.
Greetings, my valorous child. The White Stag spoke to me of your deeds. I'm so proud of you.
I'm honored to meet you, Mother Tree. I knew I had to protect the stag. I saw it in my dream. Is that because of you?
No, dear heart. I do not control the dream. I am simply its caretaker.
If you will it, Mother, the White Stag can stay in our garden. There, he could run free.
An excellent suggestion. He will be very happy there, and often reunited with his defender.
If I may ask, Mother, In my dream, I also saw a fierce, horrible dragon. I've been told it is my wild hunt to face this monster. Is that true?
I fear that it is. A wild hunt is a sacred thing, a burden placed by the dream upon the strongest and the bravest of my children. In your dream, you fought an elder dragon face to face. Only 2 of my children have had such a dream, you and Keith. All Sylvari fight the dragon's servants, the undead, but I believe you will face Zaitan itself. I also believe you will prevail.
I understand, Mother. Thank you.
Be proud of your victory, Valiant. For now, rest. The new dawn will bring new adventures.
Keith, I wish for the Valiant to meet my eldest child.
Traherne has returned from war. Mother, is that wise?
Do not question the dream. We must all play our parts.
Yes, Mother Tree. I will see that it's done.
So we have learned at the end of the story mission here that there is a lot of stuff going on and that we are destined to fight the Elder Dragons. Let's go ahead and accept these rewards here, and then we have a ton of stuff in our inventory, so we can go ahead and try to get some of this organized. And we just had a really cool moment as well, because we just got our 500 achievement point chest here, which if we come into this one right here, we can see we get 1 gold, 1 laurel, 1 increased magic find, and a chest as well. Which I'll go ahead and leave this instance. So let's go ahead and chat with this merchant here, and I'll grab a salvage kit real quick and try to clean up my inventory. And then we can open up this chest and we see we got some karma and not too many other cool things, but nevertheless some nice stuff for reaching 500 achievement points. But we know coming up in the story that there's a lot of stuff going on, where soon we're going to be meeting a character called Traherne, and way further down on the story it looks like we are destined to fight the Elder Dragon Zaitan. But in the meantime, we have some other adventures to go on until we are ready for that conflict. But as far as this episode goes, I'm going to go ahead and call it good here. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I very much enjoyed playing through it, and I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Remember, drink some water, check your posture, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time in the world of Tyria. Goodbye.